What's up, guys? Welcome back. Today we will be talking about transfer targets. Now, there are some good teams with some good FPL options that are coming upon some good fixtures. This could be the recipe for some good points. So let's get into the first team and their options, and that team is Wolves. Now, after Game Week 3, Wolves have some great fixtures. Just let me read these to you. So they have West Ham away, Fulham at home, Leeds away, Newcastle at home, and then Crystal Palace at home. And after that, they have two more average fixtures and two tough ones, but you get the point. That's an amazing run right there of 5 really good fixtures. So I wouldn't recommend transferring them in Game Week 2 because they play Man City at home, and that's probably not the best matchup. But Jimenez and Traore did do pretty well against Man City last time. So if you're like on a wild card or whatever, and obviously you don't want to save a transfer for later, then yes, I would bring them in. But other than that, I wouldn't use a transfer to get in a player against Man City in general. So the players that I like from Wolves, personally, I'll probably end up going with double defense and Jimenez if I have the transfers, if I don't have some terrible fires to put out in my team. That would be ideal. Saiss, Cody, maybe Bali, but I would say Saiss and Cody, maybe Marsal actually, but Cody's a safe option. I already have Saiss, so he's definitely staying in the team. And then I'd like to get Jimenez as well, and that would be my 3 Wolves players. Podence and Neto are also options, but I'm going to have to wait and see if they're nailed on. They may be. One of them may be. We don't know for sure, but there is Jota in there as well to potentially get rotated, and maybe if Traore plays right wing, then they could both be benched. So I think they're high-quality players. I'm just not too sure of their minutes. They both did get subbed off early last game, so again, I could see them not starting, and I wouldn't be that surprised if that did happen some games. I think Jimenez is a great option. If you watch the last Wolves game, you'll know that he basically missed a wide open goal. Yes, it was sort of coming back to him pretty fast after Saiss hit the post, but I still think that he makes that more times than not. He could have easily had 2 goals at the point, and he's been consistent for the last 2 seasons. He's only 8.5. That's cheaper than Martial. It's cheaper than a lot of strikers. He's the same price as Ings, for example. So if you have Ings, I think this is the perfect transfer if you're waiting another week with Ings and not going Martial. I think Jimenez is perfect. 90 minutes on penalties. He'll probably be in my team, maybe even over Martial. But again, I'm going to wait and see how Manchester United perform first because that could change. But right now, I favor Jimenez over Martial. The next team that looked great Game Week 1 with their new signings is Everton. They have great fixtures. Over the next 6, they have one tough fixture against Liverpool. The big 3 for me would be Digne, James Rodriguez, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But you could also throw in another Everton defender or Richarlison in there. I'm not a huge fan of Doucouré. He's still a defensive mid, and we've only seen 1 game from him, so I'm not sold on him yet. I don't think there's enough evidence to suggest he's worth a transfer in. But there are some great options here. I think Calvert-Lewin's the best. He's only $7 million, $1 million cheaper than Richarlison, who is way more creative, got way more shots, but does spend more time out wide and is less likely to play a central role through the attack where he's really getting the tap-ins and all that, which is what I like about Calvert-Lewin. I think Digne is a good option. I'm not completely sold on him yet because he does cost $6 million, and he didn't create a bunch of chances last game, but he still was on some set pieces. James did not take them all from him, so that is a good sign. James is looking like a great option in his price. We really need somebody at that price to do well. That would be huge to a lot of our teams. And he looks to be that guy. He created so many chances, and it wasn't an easy matchup, really. It's against Tottenham. So I'm expecting better in these matches to come. West Brom, Game Week 2, I'm expecting people to transfer him, and they'll probably get points from him. I'm personally not doing it because I don't really have any fires to put out in midfield, and I don't think Son or somebody like that is worth a transfer out. But I think James is a great option over these next couple of fixtures. Third on this list is Chelsea. Now, Werner costs 9.5, so I don't think he's necessarily better value than Calvert-Lewin or Jimenez because they are cheaper, even though maybe one could say that Werner will score more points. The next 3 fixtures are good after the Liverpool game, so I would understand if you don't transfer in Chelsea players right away because they do play Liverpool. Now, I mentioned Werner first to say that if you want to transfer a Chelsea player in for Game Week 2, an attacker would be the person to do so because Liverpool did look pretty weak defensively Game Week 1. So again, it's sort of like a Wolves situation where they're good after Game Week 2. Besides Timo Werner, I would also look towards Reece James as a good option. Now, he may be rotated some games, but it looks like he'll have some decent attacking threat. I'm still not the biggest fan of Chelsea's defense, but in good fixtures, you got to think they can keep a decent amount of clean sheets, throw in an assist or 2 for Reece James, and maybe even a goal if you keep shooting how he was last time. But I think he can get some decent points over these next couple of games after the Liverpool game. The other option here at Chelsea will be Pulisic. Now, this is assuming that he gets back into the starting lineup from his injury, which I assume he will. He did really great against Liverpool at the end of last season. He looked amazing at the end of last season in general. If he starts playing in that form again, he'll definitely be in my team. I could see like me doing Alba to Pulisic. That would give me enough money to go Adams to Jimenez. Something like that could be very beneficial for me. So I really like Pulisic. I mention all the time that he loves to get on the end of crosses. He's not a winger that just stays wide. He always tries to attack everything. He's not the kind of person who just is happy with just dropping the ball. Like, he loves trying to make something happen all the time. Maybe even too much sometimes, but from an FPL perspective, I don't have any issue with that. I think he's a great option at his price especially. Now it's time to mention the Manchester United, Man City, and Liverpool players. Now, for these players, you will have to spend a little more, so they're not really great value in taking advantage of great fixtures, but you're just getting them because, hey, they're on good teams and they're going to score points. And there may be some good fixtures with some of these teams. So for Game Week 2, Manchester United have a great fixture against Crystal Palace. Martial at home could be a great option there. That's somebody that I'm kind of looking at, but right now Jimenez has overtaken his spot. But they have some decent fixtures after this, so I'll probably just wait and see how they play. Are they going to play a 4-2-3-1 like last year when they were so good, or are they going to change to more of a 4-2-2-2? And that would make Martial probably a worse option because he would spend more time out wide. If they do change formation, it would be to accommodate Van de Beek, and it would also help Rashford out so much because he would be playing in a striker role instead of like a left wing role. And then he would probably come into my team instead of Pulisic for Game Week 3. But I think if they stick to a 4-2-3-1, it will be Martial and Bruno that I'm most interested in. For the Man City options, right now I'm looking at KDB and Sterling. I think they're both great options. You sort of just have to pick one. They have good fixtures after Game Week 2. I mean, it's okay fixtures, but Game Week 2 is against Wolves, so I'm like, okay, I can wait a week and get information and then make a pick Game Week 3 where they have Leicester at home, which is a pretty good matchup for them, let's be honest, but it's still not like a super easy matchup like a Fulham. And it's also worth mentioning that Liverpool's fixtures do get pretty good after Game Week 3, so Game Week 4 may be the time to bring in Salah if you don't have him. Other than that, there's really no value options in Liverpool's attack. You just got to go for Trent Alexander-Arnold, maybe a double Liverpool defense with Van Dijk or Robertson beside him. Overall, from all the players I've mentioned, the ones I'm most interested in are Jimenez, Pulisic, Rashford, and Sterling. I will be looking to bring in 2, maybe 1 of the 4 after this game week. Anyway, thanks for watching. Mini League link is in the description below, and I will see you next time.
Ain't no cap in my crowd.